welcome back to ASBR Boxing's YouTube channel. Delighted to be joined by Niall as we've just watched the weigh-in as Florian Marku takes on Chris Kongo in a welterweight contest on the undercard of Fabio Wardley against Fraser Clark. Niall, thanks very much for joining me, mate. These weigh-in reactions are sometimes very, very interesting. That for me was a very interesting one. Bit of handbags after the weigh-in and the face-off as well. Just your immediate thoughts on what we've just watched.
Yeah, it definitely was interesting. Weigh-ins can be normally, quite quiet, but this was one that I was actually really looking forward to, the weigh-in, even for this one. It was always going to be a fire, even with their history of their previous flare-ups and the personalities of the two. So yeah, it was definitely not a surprise, the little flare-up and reaction after that, but I enjoyed it. It just gets the juices flowing kind of even more for a fight that we were already very excited for. So yeah, love it. Can't wait.
Yeah, me too. It's always I sometimes I'm not gonna say I find weighing boring, but sometimes it's just going through the motions really, and there's not a lot happens quite a lot of the time, but there, like I was brilliant. I love that. It's funny
Yeah,
because the camera just panned, didn't it? The camera just panned round. They were about to face off, and it was literally about a split second before there was a up in each other's face. Marco even did he even throw a wee slap or a punch?
yeah,
It's pretty cool, pretty mad, mad face off. So there's clearly a bit of
absolutely.
dislike there, which we don't always get. Obviously, most people are very respectful of the weigh-ins, but yeah, for us, commenting on it and stuff, we love seeing that, don't we? On the
Yeah,
actual weigh-in itself, mate. Chris Congo obviously weighed in at 10-6 and 5 ounces, I believe, and Florian Marku weighed in at 10-6. So just both diligent professionals, both within the welterweight limit. Out of the two, is there any comments you can make about how they appeared on the scales? Do you think either of them looked drawn out? Maybe looked like they struggled to make the weight. What were your kind of thoughts on that?
I thought, and they brought it up actually on the broadcast. Chris Congo, I don't know how he makes the weight. To be honest with you, I think he's just so big and kind of, big and rangy. I don't know how he manages to kind of get himself down to that weight, but I thought he looked good. To be honest with you, not an ounce of fat or flesh on him. He looked fantastic. And Marco the same. Maybe Marku did look a little bit drawn out as well, I suppose, but nothing major. I thought he looked good as always. Marku was always in great shape, but yeah, and I thought they both looked well. It's just, as I mentioned, Congo. I don't know how much longer he's going to be able to make this weight. To be honest with you, it's quite mad. But yeah, I thought they looked well. They looked well. They weren't too diminished by the looks of it, so which is good to see. It'll lend itself towards a good fight, hopefully, and a long if it's to go long distance, it'll be all right. So yeah, I thought they looked all good.
Yeah, mate, I completely agree. I think I can't really critique or fault either man on the scales. Normally, there's sometimes where you see them wobbling up onto the scales, or as soon as they've weighed in, reaching straight for the water or the electrolytes or whatever it is. But didn't see that really from either man there. I think not really much more you can say than what you've said. I think both men looked in tip top shape. But how on earth does Chris Congo make welterweight? Like, I, I think I've been saying it for a few, like for years, ever since we've kind of come to know about Chris Congo. You've been, how does he make 147? And he just
Yeah,
keeps doing it. Um, Obviously remains to be seen how long he has left at this weight. But you might find that he's happy enough making it. He's just one of those lean lean athletes that doesn't struggle. But that remains to be seen. It's funny, Marco is obviously a lot smaller in height and
yeah,
stat, but he's a bit more thick than Chris Congo would be. But yeah, I think of the two, I'm not saying he did struggle. I don't think he did massively. But of the two, I'd say I think he maybe looked a little bit more drawn in the cheeks,
yeah.
and what have you than Chris Congo did. Do you read anything now into Florian Marku kind of getting up in Congo's face straight away and then throwing that punch and have security having to bring him away? Do you read anything into that? Is it perhaps nerves there? Or what are your thoughts?
Not necessarily, there's a lot of other fighters that you would take that as kind of a sign of, I don't know, nerves or mental weakness, but I just think that's Florian Marku. That's what you see is what you get with him. He's going to do that most fighters he faces, and it's not. I don't think it's a sign of kind of a lack of confidence. I just think it's a sign of kind of full confidence in himself. It's just the type of character that he is, and it's all genuine, and he's full of self belief that he can win and get it done. So I don't read much into it. It was always going to be expected that flare up or him kind of being quite lively at the weigh in. But yeah, I wouldn't look too much into it as an advantage over Congo or vice versa. I just think this is still an evenly contested contest, and yeah, I just think that's who Marku is. So yeah, a lot of other fighters you definitely see it as a weakness, but not Marku. He's full of confidence in himself.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree. I think it's just the character he is, just wants to fight
Yeah,
right now. Hates all of this
yeah,
press and build up and what have you. You can just tell he's the type of guy. He just wants to get in the ring and hurt you, doesn't he?
exactly.
So yeah, yeah, 100% agree with what you've said, mate. If it was, someone, yeah, if it had be someone else and they were like the Lawal and Vidal Riley, I don't know if you saw that part of the way, and they're
Yeah,
that seems Lawal. Vidal Riley was saying that Lawal, he thinks Lawal's pretty nervous and whatever. But anyway, well, we're not here to talk about that fight. We're here to talk about the one here. Obviously, the Albanian King Florian Marku and two slick Chris Congo. I am doing the final predictions video with Elliot. So be sure to check that out in the channel, guys, if you haven't already done so. Maybe I might potentially have an unpopular opinion among some of our viewers, but not going to give mine away. But I suppose I kind of have at the same time. But now I do want to ask you. Obviously you're not doing the final predictions himself and Elliot, but I would like you to give us your kind of final prediction and final thoughts after watching the weigh-in. Has your opinion changed at all?
I've been struggling since this fight was announced. I've been struggling to call this. I think it's just so close. It's a great fight. It's main event worthy in its own right. It really is. This could headline a York Hall card, and it'd be amazing. So it's a great fight. But if I had to stick my neck out, I'm gonna go Marku. Marku points in a great fight. I think maybe he might drop Congo on the way to winning a points decision, but I just think he'd be too aggressive, kind of, and too powerful for Congo across the course of the duration. So I'll go Marku, but yeah, I look forward to the comments coming for your prediction and the final prediction video, definitely.
Yeah, mate. Well, appreciate you giving us your prediction. As I said, I will give mine. I think a lot of people know what it is, but I will be giving my prediction with Elliot Stott in the final prediction. So be sure to check all that out. We're going to be there at ringside, so plenty of interviews as well coming. Hopefully, we'll catch a word with Florian Marku, meet Chris Congo, the winner, whoever, and obviously the rest of the fighters on the card as well. So please do check out the channel for the rest of that content. All around this huge night of boxing in London on Sunday, Easter Sunday. But now, thanks very much for joining me, mate. Appreciate it, and yeah, enjoyed dissecting that way in reaction with you.
Cheers. Take care.